Grand Junction, you're watching Western Colorado's news leader, KKCO 11 News at 10.
The officers have a very, very tough situation to deal with the last couple of days.
2 days after a motorcycle accident, Fruita Police Chief Dan Daly loses his fight for life. Good evening. Thank you for choosing 11 News Colorado. I'm Bart Battisti.
And I'm Deborah Tomlinson. It is a day of mourning for the entire Fruita Police community and the family of Sergeant Dan Daly. Surrounded by his friends and loved ones, Acting Fruita Police Chief Dan Daly was removed from life support today at St. Mary's Hospital. Daly suffered massive head injuries in an motorcycle collision last Friday. Tonight, the flags are flying at half-staff at the Fruita Police Department in honor of Dan Daly, a man respected by everyone in the Fruita Police community.
Dan was a great guy. Everybody that I've talked to that grew up with Dan, that knows Dan personally, thought the world of him. He was a good person. He was a good fit for a police officer in a city the size of Fruita. He represented his community very well. He's going to be sorely missed.
Daly is survived by his wife and 4 sons. Funeral services for Sergeant Daly will be held Thursday, but an exact time and place has yet to be determined. Dan Daly was just 30 years old. 2 family funds have been set up in Sergeant Daly's name. If you would like to contribute, send or drop off your donation to Community First National Bank of Fruita. That address, 141 North Park Square, Fruita, Colorado, 81521. Or the Bank of Grand Junction. Their address is 326 Main Street, Grand Junction, Colorado, 81501. All cards, flowers, and condolences can be sent or dropped off to the Fruita Police Department, located at 101 West McCune Avenue in Fruita, zip code 81521.
Chief Daly is the 3rd Grand Junction motorcyclist to be killed or seriously injured in the last month. 11 News reporter Christina Clockers has more on what motorcycle riders and auto drivers can do to make the roads safer for bikers.
Many people don't understand the appeal of motorcycles because they seem to be so obviously dangerous.
When you ride a motorcycle, you just don't have the metal and extra support that you normally have in an automobile surrounding you when you ride a motorcycle.
I think all motorcycle riders realize that it's a dangerous sport and there is a certain amount of risk, and we manage that risk as best we can.
One way to manage that risk is to pay close attention to state traffic laws.
Currently, there is no helmet law in the state of Colorado, but certainly we do encourage the wearing of a helmet whenever you ride a motorcycle. And not only a helmet, but we also highly encourage wearing leather clothes when you operate a motorcycle.
But automobile drivers are also responsible to keep the roads safe for motorcyclists.
People have a tendency to not see the broad picture of things. They have a tendency to look in front of their hood instead of looking a half mile down the road like they should, and be able to perceive those possible hazardous situations before they occur.
Motorcycles are sort of an optical illusion when you're in a car, and a motorcycle that's coming up the street will be closer than it appears to be, and so it's going to be to the intersection faster than a motorist realizes.
Above all, drivers and motorcycle riders need to remember the rules of the road and look out for one another.
What would be a fender bender if 2 cars collided in an intersection could be fatal to a motorcycle rider.
In Grand Junction, Christina Clockers, KKCO 11 News.
Trooper Dunlop also recommends motorcyclists use their headlamps at all times to provide extra visual cues to other drivers.
It took a unified effort of several local authorities to rescue a woman who fell 80 feet off a cliff on the Colorado National Monument. The 20-year-old geology student on a field trip from the University of Arizona fell 80 feet while trying to climb up a ledge in the area of the historic Trails Overlook near Fruita Canyon. She sustained numerous injuries, including 2 broken legs. It took rescue teams more than 3 hours to retrieve the woman. She was then airlifted to St. Mary's Hospital, where she is listed in serious condition tonight.
Well, she had other injuries. The right leg, it tore the skin on her knee, and she had an open fracture of the tib fib near the foot, and then also there was deformity in the left foot.
So we looked at the scene and decided it'd be easier to come down from the top and lift her up and out rather than to bring her all the way down through the loose scree.
Park rangers at the monument want to stress how important it is to know your limitations when climbing. They also say be familiar with your surroundings and always hike with a partner.
Grand Junction police are on the lookout for suspects destroying windows around town. During the week of May 14th, someone broke windows of cars, businesses, and homes throughout the city. Police say the suspects used rocks, pellet guns, and other unknown objects to break the windows. Damage is in excess of $7,000. If you have any information about this crime, you're asked to call the Anonymous Crime Stoppers tip line at 241-STOP or 1-800-221-STOP. Crime Stoppers may pay up to $1,000 for information leading to an arrest. It's a business you may not know much about, but one Grand Valley company is reaching across state lines supplying industrial steel components for many western states. Colorado Bridge and Iron has been in the valley for nearly 8 years, and in this week's Business Times report, we fill you in on this company's latest project. Colorado Bridge and Iron started out specializing in structural steel for industrial buildings, but now this Grand Junction company is moving in a new direction.
Getting into this area right now where we're doing specialty bridges, the pedestrian bridges, arch bridges, cable stays, more out of the ordinary type of stuff. We feel like that's really an area where we excel in and like to do.
And their most recent project is installing this missile-like object to a pedestrian bridge in downtown Denver. It's called the Millennium Bridge Project, and this rocket towers 196 feet into the air, weighs 92 tons, and is 7 feet in diameter.
But that's the tower that all the cables tie into. It's braced into the ground on one end, and then it suspends the rest of the bridge from that one mast.
Colorado Bridge and Iron also supplies steel locally. They will build the steel frame on the Fine Arts Center at Mesa State College. And although you may not have heard of this local company, the owners say Grand Junction is a great location.
We're right off of I-70. We have a rail spur coming into our building, so we can service all of Colorado, Utah, Arizona, Nevada, California, all from this location.
It requires about 45 employees for Colorado Bridge and Iron to supply steel components throughout western Colorado and the western United States. You can read more about this story and other western Colorado business news in the June 6th edition of the Business Times.
One of Hollywood's greats, Oscar-winning actor Anthony Quinn, has died. In a career spanning 65 years, Quinn was known for his roles as the earthy hero in Zorba the Greek and the fierce Bedouin leader in Lawrence of Arabia. He appeared in more than 100 feature films and won numerous awards, including 2 Oscars for Best Supporting Actor. Married 3 times, Quinn leaves behind 13 children. He died of respiratory failure this morning at a Boston hospital. Quinn was 86 years old. Still to come on 11 News, fishing comes as no expense to Colorado residents today as the Division of Wildlife holds free fishing days. We'll explain in a moment.
And several Grand Valley Boy Scouts are learning just what it takes to fly. Those stories and more as 11 News continues.
Now at AT&T Wireless, choose what's right for you. Sign up for a qualifying plan and choose any 2 special offers. 1,000 night and weekend minutes, or 200 anytime minutes, or nationwide long distance, all from your home calling area at no additional charge for a year. Plus, get up to $100 cash back with mail-in phone and service rebates. It's your choice. Visit any AT&T store or authorized dealer.